Alright, here we go. 10-minute unrated game against Pranav. And we have a Karo Khan. Let's go ahead and do the fantasy. Haven't done that one in a while. So I've got this really aggressive new line, which I can try. So I think now I'm supposed to play this. And honestly, this is as far as I remember in my notes. I believe this position is supposed to be equal, but practically it's probably better for black. Just because I've weakened my king side so much. I'm going to try and castle long, of course, but we'll see what happens. So now I'm threatening to do this and trap his bishop. I can drop mine back. I'm still threatening this. Let's go ahead and take. Now, what do I want to do here? I could take with check, which forces his king up. Or I could take here, and I'm threatening this knight, but then the knight just moves. And I feel like I don't really get too much from that. So I think I like this more. I could bring the knight forward. I could also just wait and take this pawn. I could also get my rook onto the F file. Lots of options here. I could also play here and prepare knight F or knight G5. Let's just take. Let's play it a little bit safe. Let's bring the other knight out. So some moves I'm considering are rook f1, just developing the bishop and castling, Maybe queen f2 in order to set up some sort of discovered check here. Potentially a double check. I can take this and that. That actually looks pretty good. I feel like if I do that though, he's just gonna block the pin and I don't really get anything. Like I could come here, but I don't really know what that does for me. Maybe I could bring my rook in. Actually, maybe I could come here, and then if he tries to... Oh, interesting. That is very interesting. Let's go ahead and come here and set up the discovery. I could also castle short and get my rook onto this open file. That could be the move. Okay, so he's running away. What do I want to do now? I think maybe I just bring the rook here. Do I want to castle and do it, or just bring the rook and do it? Maybe I bring the rook up like this in order to pressure this pawn. So if I castle, I'm threatening maybe to like come here and then come here with check, and the king is forced there. I don't really see the mate though. Oh, maybe then my rook slides over here. Something like that. Well, I guess I can't do that if I castle. Let's come here. I'll leave the option to castle long for now. I feel like I can take this, and after he takes here, I take here, he captures, I have this check, this king is forced here, then I have this check, and he's forced to block and give up his queen. Hopefully this is correct. I feel like it works, but I'm not sure yet. I really didn't even consider taking this way. Maybe I should have looked at that, but too late now. Okay, so I could do this, but I don't really want to allow his knight to get over there. So let's take here. Come here now, and if he takes, then I take this way, and my king is trapped in the center of the board, but I could just take here, and then if he takes, I can take this way. And my king is still trapped in the center of the board. But I'll be up a fair amount of material, so I feel like it's fine. I gotta watch my time. We're both getting a little bit low on time. The knight's also threatening to take this pawn. Alright, I'm up 3 pawns, which is good. Both of our kings are not as safe as they necessarily should be. Okay. How can I exploit that move? Could come here and threaten the mate. But then say he takes this. And then what do I have? I could come here. And attack his queen. And maybe just transition into an endgame. Where I'm up some pawns. That seems pretty good, honestly. I could also try and pin his knight. with my queen. This queen's still under threat, and so is this knight now. Oh, I didn't think about that check, though. I messed up, didn't I? I should have traded the queens. I guess I want to come here. Or do I go up one square? Let's go here, maybe? Dang. I definitely should have traded the queens and gone into the endgame, where I'm up 3 pawns. I tried to get too fancy at the end there. Okay. So he's defending the knight. What can I do here? I can bring my knight back to attack his knight again. Let's do that. I need to trade off some of these pieces. I'm under too much pressure. Continue trying to trade. I don't want to let his knight move still, so I guess I'm going to take with the king. And now I'm up 3 pawns again. So his knight is threatening to come here. What am I doing? Whoops. Bro, that was mate in 1. Wait, why didn't it resign? Yes. I guess I'll take this. Normally I wouldn't, but I did say I would play into his gambit, so I guess I will also take this. Okay, so my first priority should be development here. So let's bring out the knight. And let's bring out the bishop. Let's open up my other bishop. let's go ahead and take. He takes with the queen, so this pawn is now threatened. I can come here to develop and protect it at the same time. So he's a tempo ahead of me right now. I'm going to develop my bishop either here or here, and then castle. And I feel like I'll be okay there, but you know, who really knows? This pawn is hanging also, by the way. He's thinking for a long time, which is interesting because he was like, oh, I have a new gambit that I want to play. I was going to say that doesn't actually defend the pawn, but I guess it does, because if I take it, then he takes this one. And I don't really want to allow that. So let's develop the bishop. We can put it here. Just support the knight a little bit. I'm up a pawn, so I can play modestly. Alright, well, as soon as I see that, my first instinct is to come here. I could still try and castle long too if I want. Be very non-standard with this pawn pushed so far, but I could do it. So after he pushes this, where am I going to move my knight? I guess maybe to the center. And if he takes here, I could even take with the queen. Okay. Maybe I should preemptively do this. Also, what if I sacked my bishop and he took, and then I move the queen up maybe? It's kind of risky, but potentially doable. Could also try and play here, but then I lose support for my knight. I don't really want to castle directly into his attack. I feel like I need to push this pawn forward, but then my knight would fall. I'm just going to move the queen up a square and prepare to castle in either direction depending on what he does. I'm taking too long. I need to keep my clock advantage. Okay, so he does play there. Let's go here. I feel like he has to take that. Maybe he could drop his bishop back. But if he doesn't take, then I'm going to take here. I guess if he drops the bishop back, then his bishop can take and he doesn't ruin his pawn structure. Oh, that is interesting. That is not a move I was expecting. Okay, let's think here. Could play here. I feel like he takes en passant. That has some merit. Could castle long. That drops this pawn. But then I could do this. And after he takes here, I feel like I'm all right. Could also castle this way and just claim that I don't believe in his attack. I feel like he would push this pawn and then I would take here and then maybe he sacks. All right, I'll castle this way. This, I don't know, man. That's probably incorrect. I probably should have gone the other way. All right, I'll offer a queen trade again. If we go into an endgame, this pawn here could end up being overextended, and I might be able to win it. This pawn is also kind of overextended if we go into an endgame, though. If he doesn't trade queens, I can potentially take this pawn or this pawn, depending on where his queen moves. Could also see him coming here, in which case I will, I guess, come over here. I could also just play super calm and drop my queen back if he does that. Interesting. What is his idea? I guess I take... Is he wanting to push this? He can come here, and I'm going to come back. And does he have a mate there? I don't see it. I just noticed these messages. So neither of these pawns are hanging anymore. I could push and try and do something with this. That doesn't seem super smart though. He can't take because he would drop his queen. Whoops. If he takes, then his queen drops. He also can't push for the same reason. But even if I take, I feel like that just helps him because his bishop comes in. I guess I would take again. I don't know. I really have no idea what to do in this situation. Okay. To me, that move kind of is him saying, I don't know what to do either. I could try and swing my rook up like this. I could also just throw this pawn forward. That seems a bit safer. Just to keep my rooks connected. Okay. I'm not sure what that does yet. He still can't push this because I just take. I think I'm just going to keep pushing this. If he takes, then I come here and I'm threatening to come in with my queen, and that would wreak havoc on his position. If he doesn't take, then I'm threatening to take myself. Well, unless he mates me in like the next 2 moves, this game is over because he doesn't have time. I'll add some time. So now I'm threatening here and then here. And that is mate. And I don't see a way for him to block it yet. I guess he could come like over here and try and block, but then I can take this way. Oh, he has that too. Okay. I can now come here though. I could go here, and then when he steps out, I do this, but that isn't the most useful of discoveries. So let's come here, and now I'm threatening this mate. Alright, I don't want to play the fantasy again, so let's go d4 instead. Not entirely sure what this opening is that he's doing. It's castle. Let's bring my other knight out. I'm not really sure where to put this bishop in the Catalan. I'm trying to remember where Pranav puts it, and I'm not really sure. I could come here with it. I don't know if it's really properly placed there. Like he might come here, which is kind of annoying. Interesting. I guess the purpose of that is to come here. I'm just gonna get my queen off the back rank. I think I probably want to put the rooks on the C and D files. Like I don't really know what these pawn moves are supposed to do. Like now he's giving me this square. Which seems, I mean, this seems pretty good, right? To have my knight there. Maybe he wanted to bring his bishop out like this or something? I really have no idea. Okay, I think I'm just going to centralize my rooks. What if I push, he takes, I take, he takes, no, he's got way too many pieces covering that square. And if I push here, he takes, I take, he takes this way, or probably this way. And then I could try and get in over here. I don't know, that doesn't necessarily seem clear cut to me. But perhaps, actually. Maybe that is good. If I come here, he takes, I take, whoops, I take. Oh, he went back that way. That's interesting. I guess he wants to keep pushing this. So let's say I come here. He takes, I take. I am allowing his knight to come forward if I do that though. He takes this way. I take here. He takes, I take. And then my rook is kind of, I mean, best case scenario, that looks good, but I feel like he could definitely play something in between. Like if he doesn't take, then what am I going to do? Just take here and be like, oh, I damaged your pawn structure. I'm going to do this. This is pretty not too committal. It prevents this pawn from moving forward, which I think was the reason he brought this rook back. Oh, he could bring this knight forward. That's kind of annoying, actually. Okay. That is interesting. Maybe he wants to reroute over here. But now I'm not as worried about messing up my darks, weakening these dark squares. So let's come here. See what he does. He might push, which would be interesting. I guess I would move my bishop here if he does that. So he's got 1, 2 defenders on this pawn. I've got 1, 2, 3 attackers. So let's come here. I'm threatening his rook. I'm threatening to take the bishop. And if he takes, then I'm forking. I think he's in a bit of trouble now. He could come here and try and trap my queen in, which is actually a pretty clever move. Okay. That's also pretty clever. Well, is it clever actually? Because when he moves the bishop, I can just take the rook. As long as he doesn't move it with a check. Let's come here and just line up my rook on his queen. This is good for me, right? I guess he can take this, but I'll just move my rook up, and I think I'm fine. If he takes here, then I'll take this. Oh, if he plays here, I can actually move my rook this way. That way my rooks stay connected, and I'm forking. I'm skewering the bishop behind. He's got to do something with the bishop, right? Okay. He does indeed do something with the bishop. He doesn't have a way of defending this bishop because his queen can't move anywhere that has vision on the bishop. And if he moves this bishop away, like, well, not there, but like here, then I can take that one. I could take it with the queen too, just to try and force a queen trade, but it's probably best to take it with the rook. Okay. Make sure I'm not blundering anything. I think that should be fine. So now I could potentially bring this guy up. As long as I'm careful about my back rank. Could also maybe play queen here and try and trade queens with an advantageous positioning of my rooks. Okay, he just resigns. Fair enough, that was a pretty tough position. Yeah, I'll do one more. Interestingly, this is actually the Blackmar Gedelt Gambit, whatever that is. So I was decently happy with the position I got last time. I could also try and play this more non-standardly than I did the first time. Like, what if I dropped back? But I guess I'll do the same thing. I do kind of want to be able to play c5 though, actually, and try and get my bishop to this square. But I'll play it the same way. Play it safe. Why not? Okay, that's new. I think it's pretty clear what he wants here. Let's I don't want to walk into a potential pin. Let's come here and cut off the queen's line of sight. is true. Didn't consider that move. But I could come here and takes. If he moves the queen away, then depending on where he moves it, I could take this with a check also. This is probably bad because he'll be able to damage these pawns, their structure at the end of this, and I'll just be in an endgame with a bad pawn structure. But I am up a pawn, so that doesn't work actually, does it? Because if I do this, he can block this way. Damn. Wait, I can take this way though, and then take here. This is what I need to do. This is the play. Wasn't expecting that. All right. He can't take the rook though, because my queen will escape if he does that. I could come here. No, but then he just pins. I think I want to come here. And our pawns, I lost my pawn advantage, but I do still have potential to get it back with this. That's a good move. I could do this, but that's a pretty terrible move because he takes and then my bishop is hanging. I could block this way. I think I'm just gonna walk my king out here. I could try and come here and attack that D. If I come here, he's going to take, I can take, and then he's going to take this pawn. And I've got a lot of issues. Obviously he wants to come here and give me this check. Does that check really do much though? I feel like I just run away. Like I can just come here. And then what does he do? I guess he takes this pawn. I could come here, but then I have the same issue with this guy. I need to get rid of this rook. This rook is the source of my troubles, I think. I think this is a safe move. And if I get rid of him, then I think I should be potentially okay, although probably still losing, but I think it'll be easier for me with that rook gone. And Pranav is the one who has to push, so maybe I can try and time him out. I think I'm going to swing my bishop up like this. Okay, I could try and blockade like this. This seems like a potential idea. I'll try and form a blockade on the light squares. If he tries to push here, then I also have this fork. But I guess he just moves here and defends both, and so it doesn't really help. That was a mistake, I think, because now I have this. And now I have this. And his rook is way too far away to do anything to help. All right, let's get a passed pawn. What to do now? Let's just make a waiting move, I guess. I think he wants to play here. Let's get out of the way of his rook. I'm fine if we trade off. I'll be the only guy with a bishop. Okay. This should be winning now. Let's attack that pawn. Not sure how to break through here. I'm going to bring my king around this way. Oh, maybe I should have pushed here, but then he comes here and I don't really know what's happening there. Gonna bring my king over to help against these two guys. I think this is good for me. Let's come here. Dang, I think I messed this up. I should have played this in the first place. Okay, I think we're good now, because my king is way closer to this. So I can sack the bishop and then still win, and we're fine. That was dicey for a second there. I shouldn't have done that, by the way, though. I should have brought my king straight up. I don't know what the fuck I just did there. That was horrible. Yeah, I blundered. I had the win, but I played too quickly. Same thing as that other game. Because now you can just go here and it's a draw, probably. Yeah, this is just a draw. Bro, this is just a draw. I guess he thinks he can time me out, but I think this is just a draw. All right, good games. I want to see if I'd played the king to the right spot. Was I winning that if I had moved the king up instead of up and sideways like I did for some godforsaken reason? Wait, I don't want this. I want the game review. Yeah. Bro, this shit is so slow. Maybe I should have just gone with analysis. Oh, there we go. Well, we had like almost the exact same accuracy. So taking is bad. Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Anyways, I took. That's a mistake. Nice. I'm glad I found the best moves there. So now I'm completely winning. That was correct. This was fine. What was best here? Because I didn't really know what to do here. Interesting. Doesn't that just allow him to take with check? Alright, whatever. So I'm still supposed to be winning here. So that was incorrect. I was supposed to bring the bishop up that way. Okay. That was a blunder. Here I was supposed to move back. Huh. So now it's pretty much drawn. So what if I had played this? I feel like this should be winning, right? Because his... I guess the point is that he could maybe do this and try and like distract my bishop and then we queen at the same time. Because his king can't come any closer, so he could do this. No, that's a blunder. King e7. And if I keep moving forward, king e6. And if I come here now, king d5 is a draw. Why is this a draw? Okay, let's say I come here. Now he plays king c6. I'm gonna take this. He plays king b5. Yeah, I see, okay. So my pawn can't get through. I don't know if Pranav would have found that though. That's pretty crazy. But that makes sense. Well, good games, Pranav.